Oh, hello, didn't see you there. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety. So anxiety is probably the single most common issue I see in clients who come to visit me every day, okay? And it can take many different forms, from really quite mild forms of anxiety up to fairly significant forms of anxiety that really can be quite debilitating, and it goes across the ages. So you can get it in adults, you especially see a lot of anxiety in children and youngsters these days, and in older people as well. So it's the single most common issue I see. So anxiety can take different forms. For some people, anxiety can fold over into severe forms of anxiety like panic attacks, and people can have panic attacks or anxieties about a variety of things. Sometimes anxiety is about specific areas, and that's where it tends to end up in the area of phobias. So somebody can become phobic about spiders or wasps, or phobic about anything else. But other times anxiety is more general and is actually underpinned by other things. So common areas which are to do with anxiety, which are not necessarily about the areas that people originally think they are things like driving anxiety, having trouble driving on particular roads or over high bridges. That can be one. Some people get anxieties about flying, and sometimes that's about flying, but sometimes it's not about flying. The anxiety is actually about being trapped in a particular space or not being in control. The good news about anxiety is that it's quite treatable. It's one of those things that if you continue to work at it, come and do this sort of work or this type of therapy or other forms of therapy, you can work with anxiety and deal with it. Yeah? But usually with anxiety, the longer you leave it, the longer it tends to take to be able to solve those particular problems. Yeah? So if you've had anxiety for a long period of time, you sort of get so used to having anxiety that it takes a little bit of time to shift those old habits and those old patterns and behaviours. So cognitive hypnotherapy is a very good way of dealing with anxiety and other associated conditions that often go along with it, like depression. In the one study that we had done in 2015, cognitive hypnotherapy had a 72% success rate over the course of about 6 sessions for lowering the levels of anxiety and depression in the people that were studied. So it's a very effective form of therapy, and it's a form of therapy that tends to work directly on the subconscious, so therefore we tend to get quicker results, generally speaking, than something like cognitive behavioural therapy. So over the course of my years working in hypnotherapy since 2007, I've seen many thousands of people, and a lot of them have come along either with anxiety related conditions or with anxiety as a side effect of some other condition that they're trying to deal with, like OCD or eating disorders or whatever it may be. So I've had lots of experience dealing with anxiety and dealing with people who have anxiety as well. So I do think expertise and experience is one of those things that's very valuable in this particular field.